The Shoemaker of Paris. It is the year 1775. The place is Paris, the capital of France. Paris was then a great and rich city, but some parts of the city were very poor. The poorest district of all was Saint-Antoine. There the people lived in great poverty. They were hungry, ragged, and desperate. Misery hung like a black cloud over Saint-Antoine. However, one dull November day, there was laughter in Saint-Antoine. A barrel of wine had fallen from a passing cart. It had broken as it fell. The wine had run out over the road. The holes in the road had become pools of red wine. The miserable people rushed out to drink what they could. Some fell on their knees and drank like dogs. Others collected the wine in their hands. Some others dipped rags into the wine. They laughed. Laughter was a strange sound in Saint-Antoine. A tall, thin man dipped his fingers in the red mud. He wrote in large letters on the wall, "Blood." The time was near when blood, not wine, would flow in the streets of Saint-Antoine. The barrel had been on its way to the wine shop at the corner of the street. The owner of the wine shop, Monsieur Defarge, was standing in his doorway. He was watching the scene. As he watched, his face showed both pity and anger. There was pity for the misery of the people. There was anger against the rich who caused that misery. Defarge spoke to the tall, thin man.
"Yes, Gaspard. Soon the time will come for blood. Soon. Very soon."
Defarge went inside his wine shop. Madame Defarge was sitting in her usual place behind the counter. As usual, she was knitting. Madame Defarge, like her husband, was about 30 years of age. Both were rather stout. The faces of both showed great strength of character. When Madame Defarge saw her husband, she gave a little cough. Then she looked towards the corner of the shop. Defarge followed her look. He saw two strangers sitting at a table. One was an elderly gentleman, clearly an Englishman. The other was a young lady. The elderly gentleman went up to Defarge.
"My name is Jarvis Lorry. I'm the guardian of this young lady. Her name is Lucy Manette." "Lucy Manette!"
exclaimed Defarge.
"Yes, she's the daughter of Dr. Manette."
Defarge went down on one knee. He kissed the hand of the young lady with great respect. Defarge had been the servant of Lucy's father, Dr. Manette. But that was about 18 years ago. That was before Dr. Manette was put into prison. Dr. Manette had now been set free, and Lucy had come to take her father home.
"May we see Dr. Manette?"
asked Mr. Lorry.
"I'll take you to him."
Defarge led the way across the courtyard, then up some steep stairs.
"How is he?"
whispered Mr. Lorry.
"You will see. Is he much changed?" "Changed? You won't know him."
Before they reached the top of the stairs, Defarge took a key out of his pocket.
"Is he locked in?" "Yes, he's frightened if the door is not locked. He's lived so long like that."
Mr. Lorry and Defarge were talking in whispers. Lucy, who was behind them, could not hear what they were saying, but her face was pale and she was trembling. Mr. Lorry turned round.
"Be brave, Lucy,"
he said.
"Think how happy your father will be when he sees you."
They reached the top of the stairs. 3 men were standing by a door, looking through the cracks in it.
"Is that Dr. Manette's room?"
asked Mr. Lorry in an angry tone. The men went away when they saw Defarge and the 2 strangers.
"Are you making a public show of the doctor?"
whispered Mr. Lorry angrily.
"I'll let a few friends of mine see him. It's a lesson for them."
Defarge answered calmly. Then he added,
"You're English. You can't understand how things are here."
Defarge unlocked the door of the doctor's room. He went in. Mr. Lorry stood with Lucy in the doorway. There was little light in the room.
Come in,"
called Defarge. Lucy stood there, trembling like a leaf. "I'm afraid," she said. Oh, I feel so afraid. Mr. Lorry took her arm and led her inside the room. At the far end, a man was bending low over a shoemaker's bench. His back was towards the door. His face was turned towards the light coming from a tiny window. His long hair was snow white. His clothes hung like rags from his thin shoulders.